walk down to the Capitol.
As Donald Trump holds rally after rally.
I can't understand why everybody treats Donald Trump with kid gloves. And then I realized they're the only gloves that'll fit his stupid little baby hand. Oh, man. But actually, frankly, Donald Trump, his campaign is inspiring. Mass violence.
Comedian Larry Wilmore knew what we were in store for.
He is our commander-in-chief, champion of the American worker, defender of common sense, and our voice for the forgotten men and women of this country. He is our president and my father, Donald J. Trump.
Yuck. Everything stated a bold-faced lie.
And whenever I turn on the TV, I see Trump's family campaigning for him, you know, gushing all over him, or as it's also known as Morning Joe. Have you seen Morning Joe? Oh, come on, guys, seriously. No, you know it. Guys, Morning Joe has their head so far up Trump's, they bumped into Chris Christie. You know that's true.
Seconded. After all, Joe Scarborough is a Republican.
Why doesn't he show his birth certificate?
And of course, the racist birther movement showed us who he was the whole time.
But Donald Trump, you know what it is with Donald Trump? Donald Trump looks like the rich dad in every episode of Law & Order where the frat kid accidentally strangles a hooker, right? Doesn't he? Yeah. Or as they say here at the Washington Hilton, Tuesdays. Tuesdays, bro. But guys, I am not surprised Donald Trump is happening to America because I watch movies, I do. And every time there's a black president, something always comes to destroy the earth.
There is no one who is better prepared to provide America with the strong leadership that it needs, both at home and around the world, than Donald Trump.
Before liberals suddenly gushed over Chris Christie, this was the man they adored not long ago. He endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Chris Christie was supposed to be here tonight. I don't know if he made it. He RSVP'd for 3. Him, his wife, and Donald Trump's dry cleaning. I shouldn't make fun of Chris. Lost a lot of weight recently, didn't he? He said, this is what he said. He said he just eliminated everything from his routine that wasn't necessary, like his self-pride and dignity.
Brilliant stuff from Wilmore, who deserves another show on Comedy Central, by the way.
Donald Trump talks a lot about making America great, but it's not just talk, he means it. I'm going to be helping him.
Former presidential candidate Ben Carson, a staunch Trump supporter, also caught astray.
Ben Carson was also against Harriet Tubman replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. He praised Jackson, saying he was a tremendous president. From the grave, Andrew Jackson replied, "What did that jigaboo say?" That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm just the reporter, you guys. I'm just the reporter.
So I think we've got we've got somebody saying here, we have to bring them
apologize for mass incarceration.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I'm not a super predator, Hillary Clinton.
Okay, fine, we'll talk about it.
You apologize to black people for mass incarceration?
Well, can I talk? And then maybe you can listen to what I say. Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Oh, you thought she was off limits? No.
Hillary Clinton was flustered when a Black Lives Matter protester challenged her. Man, whew. I haven't seen a white lady that upset over being blindsided by a black person since Kelly Ripa. Yeah, right? Exactly. Hillary's had some awkward interactions with Black Lives Matter. She has, man. You know it's bad when her immediate response is, "Can't we talk about Benghazi? Please?"
You are defending the people who caused young people to go out and take guns. There was a 13-year-old girl in Washington, D.C. who was planting her own photos. How would you do it? Now, look at this other one. Look at this. That's not true.
Nor was he.
But I have to say about the First Lady, it's so nice to have dinner with you. She's the epitome of grace, class, and poise, isn't she? She really is, yeah. Not to be confused with future first gentleman Bill Clinton, whose 3 favorite strippers are named Grace, Class, and Poise. Yeah, don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake.
Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s, and maybe 40s.
What are you
That's not
talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Don Lemon also got roasted.
You know, I should say some of America's finest black journalists are here tonight. Don Lemon's here, too. Hey, Don, how's it going? Alleged journalist Don Lemon, everybody.
I think it's outrageous. The halftime show, I thought it was ridiculous anyway. I don't know what the heck it was. A bunch of people like bouncing around and doing strange things. This is a political position. She's probably going to take advantage of it. Let's have, decent, wholesome entertainment and not use it as a platform to attack the people who, put their lives at risk to save us.
Remember Fox News' everyday tradition of attacking anything they don't agree with? The Super Bowl with Beyonce was included. Wilmore went at them too.
Not to throw any shade, but Fox News is the highest rated cable news channel among viewers who have no idea what shade means. Fox News actually tried to convince America that Beyonce was anti-cop after her Black Panther-inspired performance at the Super Bowl. Anti-cop, come on. At the most, she's anti-pants. Right? I think Fox News secretly likes Beyonce, though. They just renamed the Kelly file Becky with the good hair. Lemonade, Mr. Vice President? Lemonade?
Hey, let's hop out of the way. We're taking her.
Good job. Good.
How about this guy? Wilmore would unload.
Ted Cruz is vowed to stay in the race. Man, everybody hates Ted Cruz. Even O.J. Simpson said, that guy's just hard to like. Creepy. This is true. You know, there's a joke going around the internet that Ted Cruz is actually the Zodiac killer. Right? I'm not making that up, Come on, that's absurd. Some people actually liked the Zodiac killer. John Boehner came out of retirement and described Ted Cruz as Lucifer in the flesh. Lucifer! I mean, that is not fair, man. Lucifer is horrible, but he's not the Zodiac killer. Recently, Heidi Cruz revealed that after they got married, Ted bought them like 100 cans of soup. Not making yourself look less like the Zodiac killer, Ted Cruz. Not doing it. I don't even think Ted Cruz wants to be president. I think he's just crisscrossing the country Zodiac killing. That's my theory on it. All right, that's enough on that. Ted Cruz actually announced Carly Fiorina as his VP pick. And he's not even the nominee yet. You've seen this, right? Who does that? Except the Zodiac killer.
I'm Wolf Blitzer.
In addition, Wolf Blitzer, an ex-writer for the Jerusalem Post, was in Wilmore's crosshairs.
CNN is here tonight. You mentioned CNN? Yep. I've been watching CNN a long time. Yep. Used to watch it back when it was a news network. I did. Was it all CNN here tonight? I don't know about you guys, but I can't get enough of that CNN countdown clock. Now we can see exactly when they hit 0 in the ratings. Speaking of drones, how is Wolf Blitzer still on television? Ask a follow-up question. Good. Hey, Wolf, I'm ready to project tonight's winner. Anyone that isn't watching The Situation Room. No, all right, fine, I like Wolf. I have to admit, it's not easy to follow the president, man. You got some jokes, Mr. President. President's funny. Stay in your lane, man. It's not fair. You don't see me going around presidenting all the time, right? I don't go around passing health care and signing executive orders, pardoning turkeys, not closing Guantanamo. Oh, wait, maybe I did do that. Oh, I just got a note from the president saying that if you want another drink, you should order it now because the bar will be closing down. Of course, he said the same thing about Guantanamo, so you have at least another 8 years. He made that joke.
Best of all, Obama was chided too.
I heard during this summer, after our golf game, that Steph was using the excuse, of Secret Service being intimidating for why he lost the match. That is not the case. But he will have another opportunity. Obviously, watching Steph play is incredible.
It is, but Wilmore fired away with this.
Saw you hanging out with NBA players like Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors. That was cool. Yeah. You know, it kind of makes sense, too, because both of you like raining down bombs on people from long distances, right? Sure. What? Am I wrong? What?
Indeed, you are not, Larry. A lot to get to, but first, if you can, please become a channel member at youtube.com/TYT Sports to support us, and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition to support me on my individual socials, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Comedians are supposed to be ruthless. They are supposed to be relentless. They are supposed to go at anybody at any time, no matter the circumstances. And this mainly goes for the powerful. Those could be lawmakers, billionaires, CEOs, doesn't matter. These are the folks that comedians punch up to because they selflessly, a lot of times, represent us and our values. This is an intimidating room. And Wilmore going up there and tearing people to shreds. We might do a part 2 because there's some that, just for time purposes, we did not put in. But the amount of folks who were within his range to be attacked comedically really shows a lot of guts and integrity on his part. I doubled down on this. This man deserves another show. I believe he has a podcast with the Ringer Network. More. Whether it's Apple TV, Hulu, any respective network, he should get it. Because if he does, we're in store for more of this.
It's absolutely false. I win at golf. I win at golf. That I can tell you.
Oh, he shanked it. Oh my God, I got that on video.
Donald, what he does, he tees off first so he can take off right away. So even before you tee off, he's already halfway to the fairway. So he hits his ball, and we know it went out of bounds. We just know it, and so he takes off, and so we finally get to the green, and he's like, "Oh, my ball's right here, 3 feet away." Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna pick it up. It's a gimme for a birdie. And we're just laughing. You don't do that in golf. I mean, come on.
I don't know Samuel L. Jackson. To the best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring, not a fan.
I don't cheat at golf, but Samuel L. Jackson cheats. With his game, he has no choice. And stop doing commercials. Burn.
Donald Trump is synonymous with cheating, whether it be on the golf course or in politics. This sad, pathetic excuse of a man has to be one of the biggest sore losers in contemporary history.
At his own Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, it's a course where the president happens to have won the 2018 Men's Club Championship despite never playing in the tournament.
If this doesn't scream fragile ego, then I don't know what does.
He cheats at the highest level. He cheats when people are watching, and he cheats when they aren't. He cheats whether you like it or not.
Admittedly, Trump's long history of cheating at golf is low on the list of criticisms. However, it's a huge part of Trump's personality that we can't ignore.
Whenever he opens a new course that he buys, he plays the first round by himself and calls that the club championship. It's not that he loves golf. He just loves beating you. So these guys always say he's fun to play with, he always wins, but then he doesn't even take your money. So it's not about beating you out of the $10. It's about showing you that he's better than you.
Author Rick Riley spells it out perfectly. The brazen entitlement of Trump's behavior on the course directly mirrors how he acts in everyday life and enacts his policy goals, which leads us to this.
Donald Trump proudly announced that he had won 2 of his own trophies at his very own golf course in a single weekend.
And that's why I was so disappointed to see my hero, Jack Nicklaus, at Mar-a-Lago last week for this phony baloney, fake as Velveeta cheese ceremony where Trump gave himself 2 championships.
You heard that right.
His seconds and thirds and top tens are at a level that nobody's ever seen before. So it's an honor to have you, Jack. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
One of the greatest golfers of all time was in attendance when Trump awarded his 2 championships to himself at Mar-a-Lago, disappointing many in the process and adding some crumbs of legitimacy to the awards. Trump would also boast about his sham tournament wins on Truth Social, just weeks before opening stock in the company to the public and the plummeting pricing that followed. Unexpectedly, even Biden took a dig at Trump's ego-boosting stunt.
I'd be happy to play. I told him once before when he came into the Oval, before he got sworn in, I said, I'll give you 3 strokes if you carry your own bag.
All of these shenanigans are taking place over the backdrop of Trump's hotels and golf resorts feeling the crunch of his public image catching up with him. Bookings are widely and easily available at multiple marquee locations, and some clubs are even offering discounts to lure in new customers, something that shouldn't be necessary for a winner and master businessman like Trump. If there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you, the viewer, would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. Support the channel. All of our content is free. It's the least you could do. Become a paid channel member or go to tyt.com/join to support the network as a whole. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We have an update to a previous story we reported on. Recall the Utah women's basketball team. There were plenty of folks who doubted the accusations made by the team's players, coaches, and extended staff that the squad was racially abused in the state of Idaho, specifically the city of Coeur d'Alene. And that was after the NCAA would move their logic. The security cam video of the team is via Hunter Bertram of KXLY4 News. These actions by locals followed a trend locally by extremists who, per the reporting, have met with politicians at the state level and even proud white nationalists like Dave Riley, who you'll see momentarily. The team was seen at Crafted Tap House and Kitchen.
2 lifted pickups were revving their engines and speeding by. The report states the trucks turned around and yelled a racial slur towards the group, some of the members African American.
After dinner, it happened again. According to the police report, the drivers of 2 trucks revved their engines and yelled the N-word.
The vehicle drove by and several racial slurs were yelled by the occupants.
We're going to bring this press conference to a close.
Evidence room outside of the evidence room. Great for policy A02.3.1.
Let me just say this. There is another law called the verbal assault law. This press conference is ended. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, you made it.
Via Duggan reports, here is Riley interrupting a press conference. He is a known white nationalist in the town and even gave tips to those who were at the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville that would take the life of Heather Heyer and injure many more.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Racism is real, and it happens, and it's awful. It was really unfortunate and disappointing and upsetting and all the things when this experience shouldn't be any of those things.
Utah head coach Lynn Roberts would address the media afterwards.
The NCAA and Gonzaga helped the team move to a new hotel as a safety precaution. The FBI says they are prepared to investigate. We
now have an update to this story, but let me just preface this all by saying to the users like John Nar 8304, Team America 5987, and God's Child 4988, the rest of this clip is dedicated to all of y'all that commented foolishness on our previous video. via ESPN and the Associated Press. Police investigating alleged racist incidents against the Utah women's basketball team when it was near its Idaho hotel while in town last month for the NCAA tournament say they found an audio recording in which the use of a racial slur was clearly audible. Coeur d'Alene police have been investigating the racist abuse and now say that they have collected approximately 35 hours of video from businesses in the area, wrote CNN's George Ramsey. This week, police announced that detectives are trying to identify a silver passenger car that was in the area when the incident would occur. NBC would also report that it wasn't just the Utah women's basketball team that was at the scene. It was also team personnel, of course, but band members and the cheerleading squad. So while we continue to have the storyline be the Utah women's basketball team, there were many more affiliated with the university that heard this. Tony Stewart of the Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations would say at the news conference, "We condemn in the strongest terms those horrendous acts of hatred. If the perpetrators can be found, we call upon them to be prosecuted. There is no place in our communities or in the United States for such horrific acts." Local police would say, as transcribed by The Athletic. I'm going to read this quote. "While we're still reviewing evidence, it appears the use of a racial slur occurred more than one time." That is the police saying this in a very divisive area in the United States of America. And I'm going to tell you why this is a divisive area. More from Jenna West. U.S. Census Bureau data from 2020 shows that the residents of Coeur d'Alene are largely white, with black people making up less than 1% of the population. More people reported themselves to be Asian or Native American, and about 5% said they were Latino. The city has a history with extremist groups, its mayor said in 2022, when 31 extremists were arrested after being found near a LGBTQ pride event in a truck with riot gear and a smoke grenade. NBC News would add more. Coeur d'Alene and northern Idaho have become known for their extremism and proliferation of racist groups. The Aryan Nations and other white supremacist groups have terrorized the region since at least the 70s, according to the SPLC, as cited previously as well. Members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front were arrested in 2022 at the LGBTQ plus event. 31 of them were arrested on suspicion of conspiring a riot, according to the Spokesman Review of Spokane. There was a mishap by the NCAA by putting a basketball team with many members who are not white in a town that has a history such as this. And the reason they did it was because they said, oh, there's a really big volleyball tournament in Spokane. Let me ask you this. And I'm not saying any team should be there, but my question is this. Would the men's be forced to go to Coeur d'Alene, which is about 30-some minutes from Spokane? The answer, of course, is no. It's because it was a women's basketball team that they thought, oh, we'll just put them there. There should be a task force that the NCAA has to oversee where they are placing teams if it can't be in the host city. They really need to have this, if they don't already. The other part that I find rather interesting is I believe the governor of Idaho, his name is Little. Let me look. It is Brad Little. I just wanted to make sure his first name. He is the kind of guy who will say racism is terrible. It's horrible. It's a strain on society. And yet this is the same guy who will pass legislation that is rooted in racism. The storylines write themselves. This is an embarrassment. Everybody should be embarrassed for putting this team through this. And I truly hope the perpetrators are not only caught, but prosecuted. If there are any stories we missed, if there are any that you, the viewer, would like to submit, get at me and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. DMs are open. Support the channel. All of our content is free. It's the least you could do. Become a paid channel member and or go to tyt.com/join to support the network as a whole. Thank you so much. Have a great day.